I transcend race, class, and gender, but I am defined by my mental illness. Yeah, putting the drums on kind of fucked up my rhythm. It's because I have no rhythm at all. Rhythm is not the white man's forte. That's not what we do best, see. Podcasters, are you mad at the government? Do you wish they would all die? Fiery, violent deaths?
Are you into bus stuff? Are you into hot, sweaty buses in the middle of the summer and cold, icy buses at the end of the year?
There's nothing sexier than the hulking beast of the city streets. The humble bus. The humble city bus. It dominates the urban environment. Bus daddy.
You can't spell bussy without bus, and that's why we're into bus stuff, baby.
It's... Yeah, so we have a traffic safety project and a podcast about gooning and boy pussy.
We'd love for you to send us money, even though we won't cash the check.
Yeah, we need. I don't know. My brother's making fun of me for that. He's saying we just need to start a business.
So what you're saying is that he's listening to the podcast.
Well, he sent like a list of criticisms. He essentially live tweeted the podcast in the brothers group chat as he listened to it with all of his critiques.
Did he have anything nice to say?
But I mean, let's be real though. That's like it's in today's society. In society, to have a relationship that is based in mutual respect means that you can give critical feedback in like a trusting environment. Like that's the sort of relationship that it can be really hard to come across, and that sort of thing can be very valuable. However, a lot of my brother's attitude could be described as just generally disrespectful towards anyone and everyone. So
okay, and you know, I'll address Nick because apparently, I think he's probably getting some satisfaction about this. I appreciate the feedback as well, right? Like, I appreciate that there's someone that you're close to that can give us some feedback. So I'm curious. Yeah,
this is really all he had to say. He wants me to use the drum machine he gave me like 10 years ago. Modern helmets are so light and comfortable that there's no reason not to wear one. Point. Modern helmets are so light that there's no reason not to wear one. Counterpoint. You're gay. Point. He says, I also like to go 30 miles an hour at all times. So this is a good thing to bring up.
People do be wanting to get across the city like in no time at all.
If you are on an e-bike, get a motorcycle helmet. The official recommendation of this podcast is that you should get a motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, and like maybe some shoulder pads, some knee pads for sure. Like, you know, what the motorcycle guys wear.
Yeah, you should more or less be wearing like a jeans jacket, full out lesbian attire at all times.
You should definitely have a strap on and I mean, if you're plugged, you're plugged.
So yeah, I mean that's a good point. But we're not riding e-bikes, right? Like I'm a slow boy, and my risk of head trauma is essentially the same as walking down the street.
So you're telling me all of Nick's criticisms were about our roadway safety advocacy positions and not about our gooning obsession?
Ours are dank. Our roadway safety positions are sound. That's the thing. It's like if you go to the sources that use credible sounding rhetoric, if you go to the Governor's Highway Safety Association or Mothers Against
If I'm
Drunk
going to
Driving,
the governor's house, I'm only doing one thing, baby.
or any of the number of think tanks that are designed to sort of paint this system as normal, it's essentially what think tanks do is they set the narrative in an official sounding way. They exist to sound official. We're here to be right.
And we're here to give you a laugh and to make you come up with your own answer to these questions. Listener, we know you're smart. We're not going to treat you like a baby.
And then so we got in a big fight. He's like, you guys are totally wrong about enforcement not lowering deaths. Embarrassing. He says.
That's not what you said.
No, but it's true that enforcement doesn't lower deaths. Or rather, there is no empirical link between high rates of policing and traffic deaths. Like, of all the things that have an impact from a statistical perspective, it's like very, very, very low down the list. It's so far down the list that it's appropriate to ignore it in the context of trying to mitigate the problem.
Right. And if folks that are able to make impacts on that front are able to do that, then by all means, like, advocate for that. If you have the ear of your local police commissioner or the legislature that's creating the laws for what happens when you stop at a stop sign, like what enforcement looks like, and if you have an ability to impact that, sure, but that will make a minuscule fragmental impact compared to taking space away from cars, making cars slower, giving people the sidewalk back.
I want to draw attention to like what the Governor's Highway Safety Association is. It is the association of all the highway patrols, right? So when they publish that, like, when you look at the numbers, a reduction in traffic deaths occurs when you pay cops more. And it's like, well, of course they're going to say that. It is the cop think tank. They need to justify the budget, right? And so it is a vehicle for that, fundamentally. We are not. We don't think that public expenditure we don't think the most effective public expenditure in regards to the mitigation of roadway violence is policing. It's squarely not. It's pretty much like transit number one, far and away, right? Just like anything you can do to reduce VMT, and the best thing you can do to reduce VMT is transit. And then after that is like street treatments, traffic calming, bike lanes, further investments in alternative infrastructure.
All of these things aimed towards the end of creating viable alternatives to driving and making the choice to not drive a no-brainer. Make driving the inconvenient option. These are policy decisions that have caused this to be the case, and decades, centuries at this point of infrastructure that have caused this to be the case. But we can change it. We get to decide what our cities are. We get to decide what our world is.
I think something that's really interesting about car world as a system is that you're much more likely to die as a person in the rural environment. Like, your odds of dying in transit, so to speak, are essentially like, you're like 5 to 10 times more likely to die while in transportation than
per capita
than your average urban person. Just like you, the individual. If you live in the boonies, you're much more likely to die in the transportation network. And I just think that's ironic, right? That it's sort of a lefty space to be like, fuck cars, man. But it's the cars are killing the rednecks.
I've made the point before that being anti-car is like the most libertarian, like right libertarian position you can take, because I'm not going to rely on a market that is set and being manipulated by like global conflict. Like, I don't care that Japan is now hoarding oil, because I don't need oil to get to work. And I need oil for lots of other things. And of course, our economy is founded on it, and we can unpack that from a Marxist perspective as much as we want. And that's me speaking leftly, but it should be the libertarian position, the anti-government position, to not have a car. And sure, maybe you also don't ride the bus, but you ride a bicycle. The bicycle is the revolutionary machine. The bicycle is the goated machine. The bicycle is mogging everyone on every level.
Back to the criticisms of the podcast. The gooner joke is played. Get new material. You can make any dumb joke you want when you are creating value for listeners.
Which joke is bad, did he say?
The gooner joke.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've been saying. I've been
I disagree
saying that
firmly.
We need to write
I firmly
more jokes.
Disagree. We have one good joke. I don't think we need more. Gooner joke is played. You can make any dumb joke you want when you are creating value for listeners. That really gets me. You guys are just
how do you create
you guys
value
are just
for the listener?
stroking each other. Do original research. Get better and better guests.
Yeah, I mean, those are good pieces of advice for sure. I think we can do more interesting research and chop up the death map in more interesting ways. I think that's a big piece of it. And then, yeah, definitely guests. I've reached out to a few other people, haven't heard back. So
I reached out to a few people, and I don't know. I don't think they like us very much. But
although we did get the Strong Towns people slid into our DMs this morning.
Yeah, we got invited to a Zoom call. So see you there, folks.
So hopefully they'll not just like lay into us for our poor taste.
Okay, and then Nick says to incorporate a business, and then he says, in the time you spent dithering over a decision, you could have achieved results. Reality is revealed to you by iteration.
That's true. And I mean, part of what I've been avoiding is results.
What are we going to do, Lucas?
Yeah.
Gabagool. So, Nick is the world's biggest asshole. This is true. But he does have some good points. And we fought about helmets and cops as a funding source. He sent me this dumb fucking paper brought to you by Big Cop.
Where there's
basically the paper tried to draw the conclusion that, like, because in 2003 in Oregon fired like 200 highway patrolmen in 2003 for like 3 years, and traffic deaths like sort of went up, and they try to model and argue that, like, the cost of a traffic death is $300,000 in policing. Like, for every $300,000 in policing that you spend, you save one life. Which, first of all, seems like sort of a raw deal.
Yeah, which is like terrible math, even if you want to defund the police.
I want to buy 4 cops to save one. You're telling me four full-time cops prevents 1 annual traffic death?
Come on, guys. Get your shit together.
What a bad decision.
So amateur numbers.
There's a full-time traffic death preventer cop by my house. I don't know why or how, I have no fucking clue why there is a county sheriff that I think is paid by the church, because the church has like a daycare and an elementary school, and there's like an intersection that's a little bit too wide, and instead of traffic calming it, they pay a cop to stand there 40 hours a week. At this one intersection, the cop is never anywhere but right there. And I think they're on retainer from the church. But they could just spend like $1,000 on rocks. But instead they rent a cop in perpetuity for public safety.
There are almost certainly items in the inventory of the police department that could be brought out to serve the purpose of traffic calming, i.e. cones and fencing and different sorts of barriers and weights, you could spend no money and you could fix the street, and you could fix the street on the other side of town where, black and brown kids go to school, and you could make that safer as well. And you could spend not an entire salary every year. 7.5 cents doesn't buy a hell of a lot. I think that Nick coming at the podcast is good for every reason. First, he's listening, which is nice. And 2, he's a hater, which I've said before is a good thing. It's good that we have some haters.
No, that's actually true.
And 3, he's got some great points.
No. Well, first things first.
We love the haters. Please hate on us.
Army. Alex Jones, Gooner Army, Underground, Subterranean, Rat Empire. We got a lot going on there. It's core to our narrative. It's core to our brand identity. And there's no looking back. I think 2, he's gay. And he's probably a narc.
2, we have a right to bike around our neighborhood without fear of being killed.
I suppose.
A helmet probably makes you safer.
Not really.
A helmet probably, in an individual instance, if it protects my noggin and it saves my life, I would rather be wearing it than not wearing it.
All I know is that the safest place to ride a bike has the lowest use of helmets. And that is incompatible with the view that this has an impact on outcomes. Well, I mean, it's like obviously it can have an impact, right? But when the correlation is as inverse as it can be, it can only have so much impact, right? It is not the determinant.
Of course. And I think for me it's about the dangerous situation that is our city streets, and the point that you've made recently, which is that most normies go out there, they ride a bike once, and then they say, that was way too scary. This is terrible. I'm not doing that. And there is a non-zero number of those people that say, I really need to get a helmet. I'll feel better. I'll be psychologically more settled. It won't impact the chances of them getting hit by a car. I believe some studies show that people are more likely to treat you like a vehicle if you're wearing a helmet, so they might be more likely to hit you if you're wearing a helmet. But you're functionally as likely to get smushed out there, squashed out there. And I think that if wearing the helmet makes more people go out there, that's a good thing.
No, but wearing the helmet makes less people go out there. Because first of all, you look fucking gay. Second of all, you look fucking gay. And third, it's like an extra step. It fucks up with your hair. Your hair looks like shit. You look like a dumbass. Who wants to wear a helmet? Can we be honest for a second?
They don't wear... The Fietsers don't wear a helmet in the Netherlands. No person that would be a Fietser. I mean, children and some people, but it's not like widespread helmet use is what brought the Netherlands to be the greatest biking country.
No. I mean, it's all public investment, right?
Public investment and a cultural movement to make the bike the go-to way to get around town.
I mean, my point is, you can wear a helmet if you want, right? Whatever makes you feel comfortable, it's fine, right? But I view it as a false sense of security. The fact of the matter is, you are not in a secure environment. You are not safe out there, depending on where you are in America. And you should make decisions in accordance with that. That like, if you fuck up, you could die. If somebody does the wrong thing, you could die. I don't know. The helmet just does nothing. It just does nothing when you get hit by a car. You're not Lance Armstrong, you fat fuck. You're not going that fast. If you're on an e-bike, get a motorcycle helmet and wear a leather jacket, because that shit will take your skin off and that shit will like crack your head open. But beach cruiser, fuck no, dude. Mom does not need to wear a helmet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, mom's not sending it. Mom is having a leisurely stroll.
Mom might fall and mom might break her elbow, but like she doesn't need to wear a helmet.
Yeah, mom should maybe wear elbow pads or knee pads And mom will look kind of cute while wearing elbow pads and knee pads, but you listener, you'll look like a fool.
No, and it's like, dude, why do we have to project as like a class of society that we're like fucking stupid as fuck? Why do we want to project that we wear tights and a helmet like we have an intellectual disability? Like, what the fuck is wrong with us?
I mean, one of the most ubiquitous ways, like in media, to show that someone has an intellectual disability is to put them in a bicycle helmet. It's like the go-to symbol.
You're on a bike. You're on a bike ride. You go into the coffee shop to get an espresso. Do you take your helmet off? And like, if you're sweaty and you're wearing Lycra, like, people won't assume you're right?
No, I think there's other tells.
Okay, I'm not wearing Lycra, right? I'm just sweaty. So if I walk in there with my helmet on, what are they going to think?
What are you buying? What are you ordering?
Diet Dr. Pepper.
Then they're going to tell you to go to the 7-Eleven where you belong.
No, I go up and I say, I would like an espresso, please.
They say, sorry, where's your helmet, sir?
Dude, I was riding the other day. I got the finger wag. From a Latino. I was just fucking riding, and he like looked me in the eye and he wagged his finger at me, and I'm like, why the fuck is this guy shaming me? And I had to
Where
think,
was he?
I was on the fucking bike trail, and he was on the street, and he just wagged his finger at me, and I didn't know why, and then like 15 minutes later I said it, and I was like, oh my god. He's like, you should wear a helmet. I think that's what he was trying to say.
No, he was probably like, ooh, you naughty, naughty boy. You want to pump a little harder for me?
I need a big burly bear to come breed my boy pussy.
Yeah, he was catcalling you in a very demure and subtle way.
Waiter, I need a big burly boy to come breed my boy pussy.
What were you wearing?
A shirt and gym shorts. I was wearing like jogger attire.
How old was this person that
like
seemed to
normie
indicate?
age, 45.
Were you like booking it? Did you just like
about 15 miles per hour?
Had you just like zipped by some pedestrians?
No. He had to yield to me.
Oh, he yielded to you, so he felt like you were not being polite. That's all it was.
He can suck my dick. He can suck on my dick.
We do have to, make space for each other.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm on the fucking sidewalk. I'm just going, bro. Murder me or don't, pussy. Just do it. Do it, bitch. That's my take.
Yeah, I mean, he could just like step out in front of you and knock you off the bike and then try to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, it's like he could kill me if he chose to, but I saw that he saw me and then I went, right?
Yep.
Like,
and these are the kind of conflicts that we could have if we lived our world, if the piggies stopped oinking for it and they lived their world outside of the motor vehicle. We would have conflicts. Like, we're going to keep having conflicts with each other. Assholes in traffic, those who are still drivers out there, those people who you get annoyed with in traffic or who you see cut people off or who don't have the best sense of depth perception and maybe bump into you, those issues are going to persist. But in a world when we're not dragging around a 2-ton vehicle, they're not going to be deadly nearly as often. They'll still be deadly sometimes, because if this guy knocked my buddy over, I'd come right after him, and there would still be violence in the world. We can't eliminate violence, but we can eliminate senseless, preventable deaths, and we can do that by embracing the fact that we're going to have to face each other and have some conflict face to face, person to person. Person who believes that Ben should be wearing a bike helmet, and Ben who is just a raging and cannot wrap his head around the fact that we just want him to be safe. We're going to have conflict, but we're not going to kill each other nearly as often. Was that okay? Was that funny?
Yeah, that was funny.
Okay.
I'm fully. I identify as. I'm confirmed diagnosed. I am quintessentially.
Yes, in your essence.
C'est la vie. North Carolina is weird. That's one of my notes for today's episode. Basketball is a women's sport. That's I wanted to chime in. Basically, I made a new map. I made a North Carolina injury and death map where I combine the federal fatality data with whatever's available from the state. And I made one of those maps for North Carolina, and I posted it in the Durham subreddit, or maybe it was Raleigh. I posted it in the Raleigh subreddit. And the first comment...
North dash Carolina, North underscore Carolina?
North hyphen Carolina, yeah. And then I posted it in the Raleigh subreddit, and the first comment is like, you guys sell some weird shirts. And I respond, hashtag Gooner Army Strong. I like, Gooner, you know, what's up, Gooners, represent. And then he's like, I wasn't talking about that one, despite that being weird. Why do you have a legalized drunk driving shirt in your merch store? And I said, I told him what I told tell you guys is legalize it. We make $1 for every death on the map. And then the whole thing just got totally downvoted and very much harshed my vibe, right? Because I work hard on this. I work hard on this project, right? And I've spent, you know, a couple $1,000 and years of my life doing, essentially providing a public service for free, right? Just like trying to make the world a better place. And so to have a bunch of fucking from North Carolina judge me because I don't use the same like vapid, hollow rhetoric that, you know, Mothers Against Drunk Driving uses. And it's like, yes, we don't project authority. However, we do have good data. We do know what we're talking about. And these institutions that project authority are literally funded by Ford, right? Like, these institutions that you trust are brought to you by GM. If you followed the money for like 7 seconds, you would be outraged.
Yeah. Did you remove the comment thread and then they posted the screenshot of the comment thread? Is that what happened?
No, I posted.
Because it looks like the original comment, some of the merch shirts are, I guess this is in a different thread, and they just posted a photo of it. Yeah, someone says, for real, I lost my mom to a speeding driver, so I am here for the data. But those comments are like, what the fuck is this account? And it's like, yeah, what the fuck is this account? Not every advocate for roadway safety should be a neutered ChatGPT sounding cuck. Like,
no, it's so
we
true.
have to have a diversity of voices in this movement, or nothing is going to change because we're up against the big guys. And yeah, I'm so sorry for your mom. I'm so sorry that they were lost. But the data is inextricable. The data is extricable. The data is independent of the messaging that exists. And I think it's our responsibility to keep doing our thing.
No, I mean, I don't really feel bad.
Like
it's like the libs we're always going to complain. They're fucking gay. What are you going to do about it? Like, we're trying to reach people who care.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know if this makes any sense.
No, it does.
But it's like people were always going to complain. Like, they're lame. We can't prevent people from being lame.
And yeah, like, I don't know, don't buy a shirt. Buy the shirt that you like. I'm sure that there's shirts at your favorite store that you wouldn't buy. Like, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, it's just discourse. Nobody's like boycotting us yet, right? They're just like, what the fuck, man? They disagree with the position of legalized drunk driving.
Yeah, bro, legalize that shit. I'm trying to make a buck. Like, if Ford can do it, why can't we? I think that satire is sort of lost. Like, that satire is sort of ineffective, right? That's probably an indictment of us that is being lost on people.
I think,
but it's like, yeah, man. If Geico can do it, why the fuck can't I?
I think
if Uber can do it, why the fuck can't I?
In context of media operations for our venture, I think that when this user commented, I imagine Gooner in this context isn't a reference to an Arsenal fan, but I wasn't referring specifically to this shirt. The legalized drunk driving, for example, is an interesting choice for any group purporting to be interested in reducing death from traffic accidents. I think it's a chance to go further than, say, legalize it, because that's just going to immediately cause a flame war. I think that maybe that person can be convinced that our drunk driving based economy is the problem, and that reforming drunk driving is never going to work. But maybe that's what you do by legalize it. Maybe I'm full of shit. Maybe you do just flame them.
No, I think you're right though. I just don't have the time or the energy to like constantly be on, right? It's like we do the media, we do everything. But you're right. It's a good opportunity to like do the bit to the extent to which it actually gets the point across.
And I think a lot of people will...
Like, if we're going to do the bit where we dunk on your dead mom.
Yeah,
right?
and a lot of people will discover Roadway Report while they are mourning, because it's a natural thing to do, to try to explain maybe why you lost the person that you lost. And
my mom died to a speeding driver. Why is this comment so mean?
And it's not even... You're not even being mean. You said Gooner Army represent. And you said legalize it.
Army represent?
And you said we make $1 for every death on the map, which is obviously a joke.
Are you sure?
We make $1 from every death on the map. There's not... Yeah, I mean, you and I know that that's how this business operates, and the Gooner Army knows that's how this business operates, but any normie out there is not going to take that for real.
I don't know, bro. I think people from North Carolina are like racist or something. I don't get it. Something's wrong with their brains. Basketball's a women's sport. Go Gamecocks.
So tell me more about basketball being a women's sport.
It's just something you would say to upset a racist in North Carolina.
NASCAR is a women's sport.
I heard Appalachia is very gay this time of year. But no, I mean, okay, here's the thing. This is why people don't have fun, right? Like, you do anything long enough, even with the best of intentions, everything becomes bland prison food. Like, everything becomes the same slop. It's a result of, like, macroeconomic forces, social forces. Like, everything becomes the same because it's the only way to succeed. And I think having a podcast about gooning, toxic shitposting, pretending we make money when your mom dies, like, people don't do this because I think it's ineffective.
But we're a part of a new era. This is a new dawn, a new day in culture. We no longer simp for the monoculture that they serve us up like slop on our Instagram feeds and on our NBC TV shows. We make what we want, and we proliferate whatever we want on the airwaves as long as we want. And until they stop us, we're gonna keep doing it, because this culture is gonna fragment into a mosaic until it becomes something beautiful again, and we're gonna take back the streets, baby.
That is a beautiful sentiment. However, I do wonder, it's like, well, okay, if the only way to disseminate your ideology is through like a psyop think tank where you inseminate people's minds with your like completely off base ideas, I don't know. It's the formula is like you create a group called the Informed Justice Campaign, and then you publish a bunch of like articles with deeply insidious like right-wing ideology, and then it becomes real, and then like normal people believe it, and it shapes our reality. So it's like, if that's the only way to disseminate our ideology is to become like a glass of warm milk and sort of, you know, become the center for freeway research, right? And start publishing like, yeah, essentially like leverage data to say whatever you want, right? Because that's the whole game, is data can say whatever you want. Like, do we have to speak that language in order to be effective in this space? It at least is worth asking the question. I don't think so. I think we can goon. I think we must goon even.
I think in a world where they're like taking the federal government apart and selling it for parts so that they can privatize it later, and they are celebrating, and this is something I think the right has wanted for a long time, even like armchair Republicans have wanted like a dethroning of the managerial class and the like administrative class, right? All these administrative workers who enforce these rules that require us to operate along these lines of language and along these institutional channels of information. I think those things are going away. I think we're entering a new era where it's all about vibes. It's vibes all the way down. And it's about how many people you can convince to get in your club. How many people can you sell an NFT? Like, we've seen this movement in our culture already. And I think that it's going to be a blossoming and a continued normalization of the culture that was born on 4chan and that has continued to proliferate itself through cryptocurrency and these media channels and these spaces that have tricked so many people into giving their money and their time and their attention to certain ideas. And I think that's the attention economy that we operate within, and that we have to keep doing things that are entertaining. We can't write papers. Maybe we can do both, but I think that the future is not in academia, at least for the next. Maybe there'll be a counter movement. I don't know.
You're right. It's like, yeah, maybe we can write papers, but that shit is whack and ineffective and fucking boring, man. And like, we don't require any more research about how to fix the problem. You guys can keep fucking doing crash test dummy shit and airbag fucking design shit, and fucking you can spend all the fucking money you want on automated driver assistance, lane change, brake check sort of fucking shit. But as long as number go up, as long as VMT creep up, this problem is not going away. I can essentially guarantee that. As long as the underlying assumption of the system is that automobile vehicle miles traveled is going to continue to rise, this problem is not going anywhere, and it potentially could even get worse, right? And you have to have a holistic perspective in that, like, even once we go full electric cars, there's still too many microplastics in runoff, in our penises, in our testicles. There's still too many environmental effects from car world, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the core impact that we combat is the fact that, the electric car will kill you.
It's heavier, and another thing which unlike cops actually has a correlation with preventing traffic deaths is the more acceleration that a car has, the more dangerous it is for pedestrians. That's a fun little fact. And what has more zip than a fucking Tesla?
They do kind of get after it. But we could, with no money at all, hold hands and block the street and take it back.
No, but I mean, yeah, we could be a think tank, fucking publish a fucking article like, hey, is the impact of police spending versus the impact of like traffic calming or running more bus hours, right? Like a direct comparison of the estimated impact of policing versus the estimate of a policing dollar versus the estimated impact of a transit dollar would be interesting. I would read that.
I think there's absolutely credence to us trying to apply new frameworks and paradigms to the existing data. I think that's really the only thing that can be done with the data. And I think we have to remember that, like, urban planning is not a science, and it's a lie that they prop up to us that it is. And so anything in this realm is going to be very, very soft science at the very, very best. And I think we have a right and we have the privilege, because we've been mired in the struggle for so long and we have such good data. I'm digging in deep to roadway.report /North Carolina. Another one. But we have a privilege and a right to look at the data in new ways and maybe try new ways of convincing the academic world and the thinking world about these things, while at the same time advocating for the simple solutions that we know work. We know that we don't have to do this data to understand the problem, but maybe we do the research so that we can convince other people, because there are going to be people that are not convinced by the Gooner army and that need to be coddled. And I'm sorry your mom died in a crash. Maybe we could make you feel better about it if we were nice to you while we looked at the data. I think we can be nice while we look at the data and use a voice that is empowering to those people, because I feel for their pain. I know I just mocked them, but
No, I mean, of course we feel for their parents. It's why we fucking do this. I don't know, man. I don't know. I fucking hate normies. I've always hated normies. I don't think liberals are the future of anything beyond, like, the death cult that is the American dream. I don't know. And I'm not necessarily there to reach them, because they can read too, right? Like, they can fucking Google it just like everybody else. And if you have any meager interest in the subject, you get it.
You get it. And I think there's more people
know.
out there that feel that way than it seems. I think that the channels of culture make us feel like the, hashtag Black Lives Matter liberals are the primary group of people. And I just don't think that's true in 2026. I think that we all want dignity. I think that we want to take the streets back. I think that we want a fair deal. I think we want affordable housing and safe streets, efficient ways of getting around so that we can go have a beer in the park with our wives, go to our basketball games, hang out with the boys, sing karaoke at girls' night, and feel safe and be able to do so without carrying around a 2.5-ton vehicle all the time. I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah, for real, bro. I want fucking 15-minute headways, 24 hours a day. I want public health care, and then anything else is fucking gravy. I don't care if the Chinese Communist Party shoves a fucking camera up my butt, okay? If you give me public health care and 15-minute headways 24 hours a day, I don't give a fuck.
Hell yeah, brother.
You feel me? That's my ideology. Okay, gooners. Enough sentimental business. It's time to get mad. It's time to get mad at the fascist government, at the globalists, and the think tanks with their driver apologists. When you get behind the wheel of a car, you accept a responsibility. A responsibility to your fellow man. That you won't kill, that you won't maim, that you won't intimidate.
And you can't make that promise when you're behind the wheel of an automobile. When you are behind the wheel of an automobile, you are a pig, and you better oink for it, baby.
If you want to be a big fat fatty that weighs 5,000 pounds, well, go ahead. Go ahead and drive, baby. But if you want to be an American who's tough and who's brave and who's worth fighting for, well, then, goddamn it, you're going to go outside and you're going to be free. Because this is America, and the government can't tell you what to do.
And neither can you, butthurt Reddit commenter and, eldest brother.
No, I mean, I feel bad for offending the people of North Carolina, to be honest. I don't think I'd have brought it up if I didn't feel bad. But, like, a joke is a joke, and this problem's not going anywhere, no matter what our demeanor is. It's important to recognize the effectiveness of some of the rhetoric that is used to sort of... The whole point of Gooner Army, the whole point of being insane, is we're trying to shift the public's understanding of the problem, right? The rhetoric that exists to soothe, right? It exists to shift responsibility and blame. It shifts responsibility to the driver. It shifts responsibility to the pedestrian, to the cyclist, right? It never shifts responsibility to the people who make decisions in public investment, to public administrators, to engineers, managers.
To the beneficiaries of the system the beneficiaries of a system that have the convenience factor of getting around in their cars.
Never shifts responsibilities to car dealers, car manufacturers, bridge builders, contractors, consultants, designers, right? It's like, who do we blame? The 6-year-old. Who do we not blame? The city manager. Who do we blame? The homeless person.
Who do we blame? The alcoholic, and not Anheuser-Busch, not Ford. We blame the person who's already being victimized by the poisons that the world and the evils that the world has given them, because it's easier and it makes us feel better, because we benefit from those things too. Because we're all drunks who drive Fords.
I am indeed a drunk who drives a Ford. If you're not drinking and driving, say hi to your mom for me.
That sums it up. I feel like that's the episode title.
I was going to name the episode Basketball is a Women's Sport.
That's good. We are recording this as they play the men's national championship game. I had one piece of transportation content that could maybe send us out of the episode here if you want.
Can I get a little more whiskey?
What'd you say?
Can I get a little more whiskey? Can you give me like 3
Sure, take
seconds?
your time. When you get on the bus, you see all their faces, your neighbors. When you get on the bus, you see them smile. You say, "Thank you, operator. I'll take my seat now." And you watch the city go by. And you can do whatever it is that you want. You can talk to your neighbor. You can read a book. You can do whatever you want. You can't
What are you
spell bussy without bus. And you can't spell freedom without being free. So get on the bus and wave to the driver. Say, "Thank you, operator. This stop's for me." I was just filling some time, bro.
No, that was good. That was good content. God, Jesus Christ. Sometimes I can't believe I brought you out of the team.
As if you could get anyone else to record this podcast with you, I would. I would quit.
As if anyone else would possibly help me with this.
If you found someone to replace me, I would gladly quit. I'm that confident that there's no one out there. Because I love doing this.
I'd be so remiss were you to leave the podcast. If you had to leave the podcast, I would be so sad. Especially because, like, think about it this way. In 10 years, let's say we have like a difference of opinion and we have a terrible breakup. Then I've got to go find another Lucas. Like, that is going to be impossible. There's going to be a whole group of podcast listeners who are like, nope, it's just not the same.
Yep.
You are the podcast, baby.
We are the podcast, baby. We are Charlie Kirk.
We are Charlie Kirk. May he rest in penis. All right, you go. You had a thing.
Oh, yeah. So they have announced, and I think this is just another long line of disappointments in Colorado Regional Rail. I mean, we've got the amazing RTD network. I shout out RTD. They run trains. The network's pretty good for commuter rail. I'll give them that. But to get beyond the RTD network, we've been promised a lot of trains for a long time. They've been promising a train to Boulder and to Longmont since like the early 2000s. There's been a tax, and they've just never spent it to actually build those rail lines. So anyway, there is a big movement, and they just named the project that they are going to be working on, which is Colorado Commuter Rail, Front Range Rail, and they're calling it COCO, the Colorado Connector, which I think is cute and sweet, and I think if you're into bus stuff, you're probably into COCO.
The Colorado Connector?
The Colorado Connector, or COCO. You can go to coloradoconnector.com to learn more.
I'm Googling this.
Colorado is rail ready. Are you?
I'm ready to get railed.
Are you ready to get railed on COCO?
coloradoconnector.org?
coloradoconnector.com. So they're claiming that they want to build a rail from Pueblo to Fort Collins that stops in Colorado Springs, Sterling Ranch, which I'm not aware of as a place, Littleton, Denver, Westminster, Broomfield, Louisville, they call it Louisville, Boulder, Longmont, Loveland, and Fort Collins. And I think that this is a satiating force, and I don't think that they're anywhere near building it. They say that starter service is going to begin in 2029, with service delivered to the full corridor within 5.5 years after voter approval. So if we can get this approved, we will have beginning service, which I would have to hope and pray either runs from Denver to Boulder or Denver to Colorado Springs, Denver to Longmont, Denver to FOCO. And then we'd have full corridor within 5.5 years after voter approval. I think these trains, I've read a little bit about it, the trains would be pretty slow. It wouldn't be an advantage to driving in terms of time. And I think that's going to be difficult to get people to rally behind. But it's just so important culturally that along this great Front Range of mountains, we have a way to get around the region.
I only see bus routes on the Amtrak map for north-south, which is crazy. It would be a major improvement, right? It's not replacing existing low-speed service.
Correct. Yeah, it would be altogether new.
But you can already go to Boulder, right, on light rail. Can you go to Louisville on the light rail network?
You can you can go near Louisville. If you had a bike, you could end up in Louisville.
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 Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, this is cool. Is this a public project? Is you saying it's like a bond that's going to vote?
That's, I believe, how they are framing it. They're just branded around Cocoa. They had us all vote on what we wanted to name it. I think I voted for Cocoa because I think Cocoa's cute, and I think that's a big thing, especially in Colorado where we have so much revenue from tourists, and I think we are an international destination. People fly in through the Denver International Airport, and if they say hi to Lucifer, and if they're rich, they fly then on to Aspen or to Summit County or whatever. But most people then either get on a bus or rent a car to drive on the roads and be on the roads. And we're an international destination. We deserve better. We're an international region, internationally recognized region along the Rocky Mountains here, and we deserve to have high-speed rail, which they're going to work towards. I think having any trains would be an improvement.
Yeah, that's tough. I wonder who would fund this. It looks like a lot. I guess I don't know if RTD would contribute to this sort of thing. I mean, obviously they contribute something to somewhere in a huge project like this, but I don't know if it would be like a decent chunk of the overall capital or operating expenditure of the project. You'd expect it to come from a different source.
Exactly. There's some upcoming town halls that they're holding to discuss it, and I think I'm going to go down there and ask some questions about the structure. I need to read up on it better, but I wanted to introduce it to the listener if they hadn't already been hearing about it. I worry that this is another sort of placating force to tell us that they want to do this, and then they're just going to sort of not write it very well and not have good answers to the questions about funding and about who's contributing, is RTD contributing? The purpose and need is obviously there, but I just worry that they're going to purposefully be incompetent on this because there was a tax in Denver. They were going to build a rail to Boulder, which is one rail, not very long, and it's never, ever happened. They're still sitting on those funds. And so it's why would they change their minds now?
Yeah.
And if there was other funding, maybe that's the reason why. To satiate the upset Boulderites who are scared of all the scary Denver people coming to their little majestic city. Boulder is one of the wealthiest places, in the whole Front Range, metro area. It's probably the wealthiest enclave.
No, I can do better.
I wanna take back the streets. a job to ride this train. You just can't goon.
No, we gotta change it up a little bit. We gotta change it. Oh, good God. Oh, good God. Here we go.
You wanna go to Boulder? Then you get on the train. You wanna go to Longmont? Then you get on the train. You wanna have a little dignity? Then you get on the train. You know, I think it's just a shame in this country that it takes 18 hours on a train to get from Denver to Chicago. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And here I am begging my region to build a slow train, one single train. But if I want to get out of here, I gotta ride on a train for at least half a day to get anywhere. I just want to go to Chicago. It's flat. It's so flat. There's nothing between Denver and Chicago. We could, oh man, that train could go so fast. Alas, alack. It takes 6 times as long as flying. That's just an insult. It's the flattest part of the world. I was walking through North Carolina. I was getting my heels in some tar. I said, why do they gotta pave all of them? I can ride my bike in the dirt just fine. So I did just that. Don't need no car. Don't need no truck. Just need my legs. Won't get stuck. I got my bike. I got my sense of humor. And I'm gonna live forever.
How you guys doing? How we doing? How we doing, everybody? We gooning? We gooning? We feeling good? We feeling good? Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas. Are we gooning tonight?
From Austin, Texas, Denver, Colorado, and the whole world in your headset. This has been another installment of Are You Into Bus Stuff, the only comedy podcast about dying in traffic. Fuck the haters. Keep sending your feedback. Keep sending your critiques. We love it. We're here
Nick,
for
why don't you
it.
shit
And
on
we
this
can't wait to
episode?
see you again next week. I'm Lucas Riley. You can reach me at lucas@roadway.report. Shout out Strong Towns Guy for listening, I assume, to the podcast and sending us an invite, or finding us online and not going to the merch store, it seems. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you, everyone, all of the fans, every soldier in the army. You are our hero, and we love you.
No, I don't know. The Gooners will be free. Oh, one sec. I just gotta get my shit right. The Gooners. I'm in like a collared shirt today instead of a t-shirt.
Mr. Business, Mr. Monday afternoon.
Will be free. Oh, the gooners will be free because the government cannot stop us. No, the government will fall. Whoa, the gooners will be free. No, the government will fall. Go ahead and try to stop us, you globalists. We will scoot on your grave
And the grave of your mama.
The gooners will rise up and take back the streets. The will of the people's unstoppable. The authority of the globalists is frail and eroding, and the people will have their day in the sun. We will start with the largest streets and work our way to the smaller streets. The government won't know what hit them, and the globalists will die. The government. That's all I got. I love you. We are sorry if we offended anybody. We're just trying to have a good time, man. This shit is so bleak. We do this for free. In fact, we spend money and time to provide a free public service. So if you think that the shirts are offensive, we think you're and we won't apologize for that.
And if you could get hip with that, I don't know, buy a t-shirt. Do your thing. We appreciate you. Be safe out there. Take care of your family. Enjoy skyrocketing gas prices. Enjoy the chaos of the world. And remember that the globalists will fall and we will take back the streets.
Gabagool.
Ta-ta for now.
Hit me with your car. Go on and hit me with your car. Hit me with your car and drive away. Hit me with your car. Go on and hit me with your car. Hit me with your car and drive away. Hit me with your car. Go on and hit me with your car. Hit me with your car and drive away. Hit me with your car. Go on and hit me with your car. Hit me with your car